So, continuing with some of the highlights from the Startup Grind conference, I thought it'd be interesting to hear some of the 1 minute pitches that the startups that take part in the event gave. Obviously, to a full auditorium, a lot of them did really well to keep within the minute that they had allocated.
The United States Special Operations Command is currently searching for capabilities that can help keep our warfighters safe, and I believe that you have a solution that can help. My name is Christina Cottle, and I work with SoftWorks. We are a fully funded nonprofit dedicated to connecting small businesses with government in a mission to deliver best-of-breed capabilities to the warfighter. So really what that means is we get small businesses a coffee date with government. On a daily basis, I hear about challenges that soldiers have downrange. Challenges that can be solved through collaborating with innovators much like yourself. The technology needs are truly endless, from submarines to satellites, hardware to software, even cybersecurity into human performance. So if you're passionate about helping soldiers, if you're interested into expanding into the DoD marketplace, please come see us in the MailChimp tent, booth 150, or go online at softworks.org. Thank you.
Awesome. How cool is that? Softworks. Next up, Stack.
Hey, good morning. So the last innovation that happened with the web browsers was the invention of tabs, more than 20 years ago when the internet was a fun and exciting thing. Today we all use the internet as an essential tool for working, communicating with our friends and family, for entertainment, and we use so many essential web applications for this that I'm sure most of us in this audience have found themselves trapped in tiny tabs with no visible names. The browsers were developed for browsing, and they have not matched the tremendous evolution of the internet. And this is where STEP comes in. A tabless web browser designed to organize and orchestrate your web in a new, easier, and more intuitive way. My name is George. I'm a co-founder of STEP, and if you would like to see how the future of the internet looks, please visit us in Chase Tent, booth number 2. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Flatfire.
Show of hands. Who has customers giving you spreadsheets and CSV files? Yeah, that's a lot of B2B companies. Last week I was trying to upload a spreadsheet into a new CRM that we bought, and the first thing I had to do was read a 3-page support article and watch a 15-minute video. And then after I uploaded it, 30 minutes later I got an error report saying half the data had failed. Who's been through that? Yeah, every consumer. At Flatfile, that's the problem we're solving. My co-founder Eric and I started this company to make it really easy for customers to get data, whatever kind of data it is, into a SaaS product. We automate that entire flow, walk users through the problems they have to solve and bring the data in, and get that data into your product quicker. If that sounds like something that'd be valuable to you guys, then stop by our booth at booth number 3 in the Chasing tent and tell us how. My name is David Boscovic, I'm the CEO of Flatfile.
Thanks, David. That's Flatfire. Gatling.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul, I'm Gatling CEO and co-founder. We're from Paris, France. Really excited to be here today. So Gatling is about testing solutions for web applications. We have hundreds of customers on 5 continents. And to understand what we do, you all face this situation when a website crashes or experiences slowdowns. For instance, on Black Friday, when you try to buy a ticket for a concert. This is every company's nightmare, when you crash at the worst moment and when your application becomes victim of your own success. But Gatling can prevent that from happening by testing your application on the very first day of your application's development. You all come from the startups world, so you hear people talking every day about scalability of your startups, but you can scale up a business if your application doesn't scale. So stop crashing, test your application with Gatling, make sure it scales, and then scale up your business. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Gatling.
And there needs to be a high bar around integrity and building trust with the consumer. So let's talk a little bit about how we balance those 2 things together.
Yeah, that's a great question. When we were building the brand, and Kirsten was actually there, a year maybe before we launched Hims and Hers, which was about 2 years ago, when we were deciding about how to build this thing, and we had maybe like
talking about an ED brand, we had some fun.
Yeah, we had a ton of very fun. And we had like 15 different names for this company that we were thinking through. But one of the things we did was we actually designed different brands before we ever launched. We probably designed maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
And they looked like completely separate companies, but they were all representative of what we wanted the company to be. And then we sat on it for like weeks. We literally sat on it and we designed what it would look like if it was this brand. One of them was called Triple Point. One of them was called McCoy. One of them was called Admiral. Like, Hims and Hers almost didn't exist. It was almost McCoy. Like, so thank God it's not that.
You were actually the outlier on liking the name.
What was that?
Of the group, you were the outlier on picking the Hims name.
That's
but you
right.
get credit for that.
That's right. So I think one of the things that was really helpful is experiment with your brand. Like, it is a living thing. It's going to change. It's going to adapt. But you need to actually see it in real life to feel it. And I think what was really critical was, for us, there's a ton of healthcare brands where they're beating you over the head about how safe they are, right? It's like, this stuff is FDA approved, or this is trusted by doctors. You know, when you walk the aisles of like Walgreens or CVS, you see this stuff all over the place. This is how the old brands would confirm to you that this stuff was safe. We decided to essentially ditch that entirely because I think the new generation of consumer, frankly, doesn't want to be told that this stuff is safe and that this stuff is the best and that this stuff is trusted. They want to be shown it, right? They want to be shown it by other people validating that this product works, or they want to be shown it by, when they pick up the product, it feels amazing and it feels heavy and weighted and considered in design, or when they pop the cap, it smells good. Like, each of those touch points build trust. And so for us, you know, when you go to Hims and Hers, it doesn't actually talk about our doctors. Even though we have 300 plus licensed physicians and they're, 15 years of experience clinically, and the CEO of the Cleveland Clinic is on the board, and all of these things, we don't talk about that at all, because to us, to this group of consumers, what matters is that we are taking care of them along each step of the way and aware of where they are when they're experiencing these issues, and then catering a solution to that. So it was a very different approach. And I will tell you that as a founder, almost everybody told me that was the wrong approach. And so, I mean, I don't know, raise your hand if you're, if you run a company or are thinking of running a company. All right, that's a lot of you. So, one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you when it comes to building a brand is the only way to build something truly unique, and Kirsten is actually the one who told me this years ago, is to make sure it is authentically you to the core. You cannot outsource your brand to an agency, ever, right?
You need to be able to evolve it as you have to, and it needs to show up like authentically in all those different ways. And if it doesn't come from that kind of a place, it's very hard to do.
That's right. And as a founder, you can't. That doesn't mean you don't take advice, right? Like, we had some of the best agencies in the world help us think through different questions and evolve it, and we still do. But at the end of the day, I probably still, and my marketing team, I drive them crazy. I still probably say, that doesn't feel right at all. And even though all the smartest people that were around say that that's what's right for a campaign, or that's the direction, if it doesn't feel right, it's not right, and you won't be able to keep it authentic as you grow. And so, to have a strong point of view, it needs to be you. So that's a little scary, right? Because it means you can't outsource it. It means you have to come up with it yourself. But I would spend time thinking about that, because it's, I think, one of the best ways to break through with a brand that's special.
So Startup Grind is in full swing. We've had a really busy morning. As you can see, the sun is out, so I've actually had to put on my sunglasses. This time last year, it was pouring with rain here, and when I came, I wondered why on earth they would have so much street furniture. And of course, it turns out that actually it is sunny in California at this time of the year usually, and as a result the streets are buzzing, and there's lots of people, entrepreneurs, investors, people involved in big and small companies, all out currently having their lunch. So it's a really exciting atmosphere, it's really buzzing, and it's really interesting.
Next up we have Syndicate.
Hi, raise your hands if you're a human. Raise your hands if you quite like robots. Not that many? Okay, raise your hands if you want to make money today. At Syndicator, we merged human wisdom with AI to predict the financial market. So we have more than 140,000 analysts who make forecasts about the market every day. And we use these data points to augment with AI to increase the accuracy of the predictions. So traders use this to make effective investment investment decisions. So join the symbiosis of humans and robots today by downloading Syndicator app and visit booth 213, not 123, tomorrow to find out more about our investment strategies. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you so much. Okay, next up we have ECD Hub. 60 seconds starts now.
Hello everyone, this is Farid Premani and I'm the founder of ECD Hub. Been into EduTech for last 15 years and a Guinness World Record holder for completing largest number of psychological career counselings. What I learned from that, long story short, 40 seconds left, is that if you coach a child at early childhood stage, there are daycares, Montessori, but there is a new concept. I'm sure many of you would have heard early childhood. From 0 to 8, there is a high probability of success. So we built a model around it, and now I've got the first patent for an educational full-fledged 4.5 feet robot that you will be seeing tomorrow. So don't forget to visit it as Chase 10 192. Captain Robot will be there to welcome you, and then you'll be also seeing how we're trying to do a game changer in ECD world, bringing augmented reality and digital stories. So this is for it. Thank you so much.